Hello and welcome to this very first Powerful Pregnancy class. I hope you're ready. I think we're ready, aren't we? Just about. Ready to go for it. So I have with me three of my gorgeous ladies who are going to be with us all the way through this program. So they're joining us in the studio today, and we will change, the number of us will change a little bit as we go through, because as with life, not everyone can be here every single week. But the whole point of this is we can all do something every single week. So this class is like the main part of the program, but we'll be doing lots of little different videos that you can follow, and also there'll be stuff online that you can read. We're also going to build a community, a page where we can all chat with each other as well. So just watch this space. But for now, we're going to have a little workout, if that's okay. We've all got water with us. Make sure you've got water. We're also using bands in the studio, and we've got some blocks. You don't need blocks. You can use cushions. You can get some pile of books, big books, which are quite useful just to use as props. And if you haven't got bands or anything, just have a towel. A towel will be useful. You can just do it the whole thing without anything for now, and just work without. That's absolutely fine, but you might want to invest in some bands as we go along. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is talk about the core and think about using the core of the pelvis. So we'll start with the pelvis. We're going to just start with our feet hip distance apart, and we'll go with the pelvis first because that is the area that is the most important to us in terms of the pelvic floor, because the pelvic floor muscles are the muscles that are going to take the most stick through the pregnancy, basically. So we need to make sure that the pelvic muscles are in control and that we're using them when we need to. And we also need to know how to draw them in and pull them in, but also how to relax them as well. So that's really important. So the pelvic floor muscles run from your tailbone at the back to your pubic bone at the front, and they're like a hammock underneath you. And if you were to pull the sides of the hammock out, it forms this diamond shape on the base of your pelvis, and those are the muscles that we need to pull up to support ourselves from underneath. Essentially, to pull up through your pelvic floor is ever so easy. You think of stopping from your back passage, stopping from your front passage, drawing those two feelings together and up inside you. And just by doing that, it's going to help you with your postural alignment, and that's really important as well. We need to hold good posture because during pregnancy our posture tends to go, so we need to work on that aspect of it as well. But by using our core muscles, it helps us to align. So I want everyone to do that now. We're going to work through from the back of the pelvic floor and into the front. So pull up through your back passage, pull up through your front, and then into your tummy. And then if you all put your hands onto your tummy for me now, and then just take a breath. Inhale, exhale, and then stop from the back, stop from the front. So pull up from your back passage, pull up from your front, draw those two feelings together and up inside you. Feel anything else happening? Yeah? Feel your belly coming in a little bit? Yeah, okay, cool. So it connects us to our deep abdominal muscles as well, and that's really important that we're using those deep abdominal muscles as well. Now, I'm going to get everyone to move a little bit because standing still is not good in pregnancy. In fact, that's going to be a big theme for us, is to keep ourselves moving. And this is a move I love to do, and I call it rocking the baby. So imagine you've got a baby in your hands and you're rocking them, okay? But actually, if you just let your arms go, this is a really lovely move to do right from now, from the very first class, all the way up to and into giving birth, because this is a great move to do even when you're in labour. And what we're doing is we're turning our feet in. And again, that's really important, turning the foot in. So what we've got is this internal rotation in the hip joint. And by internally rotating the hip joint, we're freeing up tension in the lower back. And we can get a lot of tension in that lower back. So that's why this is a really important move to do. It's also like a default move that you can do. So if anything is getting a bit too much, we're doing balances, we're doing lunges, squats, and you think, oh, I need a rest, come back to rocking the baby. It's kind of like a rest point, if you like. But a rest point for us is to keep gently moving, which is why this is better than actually standing still for you, because you want to keep your body moving as much as you can. Okay, so we're now going to bring our feet back into hip distance apart position. And you'll probably notice that we did a little breath as we tried to connect to the pelvic floor, and that's going to be our next focus now. And I want you to just put your hands onto your chest and just take a nice big deep breath for me. Inhale. And then as you exhale, relax and feel the chest come in and down. Okay, now we tend to breathe out to the front of our chest, and we need to breathe out to the back as well. So what I want you to do now is just put your hands onto your rib cage, and it's hard to feel at the back, but just put your hands low on your rib cage because we need to breathe through this rib cage. So take another breath for me. Inhale. And then as you exhale, feel the rib cage come down. And I'm just going to go over to the girls now. So keep doing that. So Jana, as you're doing this, I want you to feel, if I put my hands on your rib cage here, I want you to feel your rib cage coming out at the back. So if I press on, can you feel that? Yeah. So I'm going to come over to Kirsten here as well. And I'm just getting her to breathe, and I'm trying to get her to breathe into the back of the rib cage. Now everyone's breathing really nicely, but a little bit too quickly. Okay, so we're going to slow it down, and you're going to slow it down by breathing out slower. So take a breath in, and then as you exhale, keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling. It's amazing how long you can breathe out for. And that's really important, because we need to get our breathing right in pregnancy, because breathing is connected to the pelvic floor. When you breathe in, the diaphragm extends, and also the pelvic floor will extend as well. So they kind of flatten out. If you think of them like two jellyfish, one on top of the other, they extend as you breathe in. As you exhale, they both come up. So the diaphragm comes up and the pelvic floor comes up as well. So if we all do that with that kind of visual, inhale and then exhale, allow the rib cage to come down and think of the pelvic floor lifting. So stop from the back, stop from the front, and into the front of your pelvis. So you're lifting from the back and into the front. Do you feel that? Okay, so that connection is really important to establish. Okay, so let's go back into our rocking the baby, and then we're just going to focus on two more postural things, and then we're going to really start to get moving a little bit more. And that is the feet and the head. So we're going to go from one end to the other. So we're kind of going out. We've talked about the pelvic floor and the pelvis. We've talked about the diaphragm and the rib cage and the breathing, and then we're going to go head, foot, okay, and then we'll have connected the whole of the body through. So now I want you to bring your feet into hip distance apart, and we're going to focus on the arch of the foot and using the core of the foot. Now during pregnancy, hormones are going to affect your body massively. At the moment, everybody's going to be around 12 to 16 weeks. In fact, let me just do a quick check. So Kirsten, where are you? Kirsten's at 16, and Jenna, where are you at the moment? 16 and a half, and Fiona's over there. You might not be able to see her. She's going to wave and bring her head in. Yay, come this way, yay. Fiona, so we're almost 15. Okay, so we're at that edge around 12 to 16, 17 weeks. So hopefully you are around that point as well. Now, hormones, so the hormone relaxin, for example, is present in your body right from 5-6 weeks, but it tends to not really surge until a little bit later on. And that's going to be around 20, 21 weeks, somewhere around then. It's different for everybody, but it's still present in your body. So it's still having effect on your joints. That means your feet get affected more than any other part of your body, and we'll focus on this a little bit more later on in another class, but for now you need to know that your feet need to be strong. Okay, so we do everything barefoot in this class specifically because we want the feet to be strong. So I want you to press through the inside of the ball of your foot, and I want you to think of a point in line with your big toe, and then a point in line with your little toe, and a point in line with your heel. So it's like a reverse triangle. And I want you to draw up through your feet by pressing through the inside the ball of your foot. And imagine you're pulling the mat up underneath your feet. You're kind of gathering the mat up underneath your feet. So you're drawing up through. So you press through the inside of the ball and draw up through the feet. And I don't know if you can feel that. Now, there is an inherent connection from your feet to your pelvic floor. Now remember I said to pull up from your back passage and into the front. Think of that like a scoop coming from the back to the front, and we're going to do it from the feet. Okay, so relax. Let's go back to our breathing. So inhale for me. Exhale, feel the rib cage come down. Now press through the inside the balls of the feet, draw up through the foot, and now pull up from the back of the pelvic floor into the front and into your belly. Feel that? Feel that strength? It's almost like there's a continual line going up from your feet up to your pelvic floor. And there is a line, and it's a fascial line. So we are connected all the way through the body. Just relax everything for a moment. You can shake your feet out a little bit. And then we're just going to do that again. So press through the inside the balls of the feet. And I want you to press down and pull in and try to feel the arch of your foot lift. Now scoop up from the back of the pelvic floor and into your belly. And I don't know if you did this, but I forgot to breathe. So should we just relax and do that again? Okay, so take another breath. Inhale. Exhale, relax. And then press through the inside of the ball of the foot. Draw up through the arch of the foot and then pull up from the back of the pelvic floor and into your belly. Yeah? You should feel a lot stronger. Now there's more reason for all of you to be doing that now than at any other time in your life because of the hormones and the way your body's being affected and the way your body shape is going to change, okay? It would be pretty impossible for anyone to actually consume enough calories to put on the amount of weight that you are going to put on in the next, well, not 9 months, we've already gone through three months, so the next 6 months. So your weight is going to increase quite rapidly. That means your center of gravity is going to change and the stresses on your body are going to increase. Therefore, it makes so much more sense for you to be aware of your core muscles and drawing up through them more now than at any other time. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make ourselves strong all the way through. We're also going to think about the head position. And the core of the head, the center of the head, is actually your tongue. And I know that sounds really weird, but your tongue is a muscle as well, like the diaphragm's a muscle. So if we place it in a strong position, it's going to make the head strong, and it's also going to help you bring your head into the right position. So our final thing to think about is the position of your head. And if you imagine your head like an egg in a spoon. So imagine my hand is a spoon and the other hand, my top hand, my right hand is an egg, and I'm just rocking it forwards and backwards, and I'm going to gently pull it back. But as I do that, and I want the girls to do that, I want you to do this at home, I want you to stick your tongue on the roof of your mouth. So you have to close your mouth, yeah? So you stick your tongue on the roof of your mouth and you put the tip of your tongue on the ridge of the top of the mouth, and then it's like you're spreading your tongue out like a dome, yeah, on the top of the roof of your mouth. So we've created 4 domes through the body, well 5 in fact. So there's the roof of the mouth and the tongue, there's the diaphragm, there's the pelvic floor, and then there's the 2 arches of the feet. And if you think of it like an architectural bit of construction, it's pretty amazing. And when you do all those things, you really do make yourself strong. So we're going to try them all together now. So take a nice big deep breath for me. Inhale and exhale. And then draw up through the core of the feet, lift up through the pelvic floor and into your center and up through. And I think Kirsten's feeling a little bit dizzy. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. Fiona, do you want to actually come over here for a moment? So this happens, doesn't it? We all can feel dizzy at times. Okay, so let's go back into our rocking the baby. So just rock through the baby for me now. And we'll just keep rocking, and then we'll go into working through our posture again. So just work it through, and whilst the girls are rocking, you keep rocking at home. I'm just going to check that Kirsten's all right. So everybody keep moving. You okay? Yeah. Oh no, don't worry. No, it's fine. This has happened. This is reality. Yeah. No, that's fine. So I might put you in a recovery position. Are you okay? You want to stay as you are?
I mean, I'm happy just to sit.
Yeah. Have you eaten anything this morning?
Yeah,
you eaten enough? Yeah, lack of sleep. Yeah. Okay. No, this is real. This is what happens. So don't worry about it at all. Yeah. Oh, bless you. Are you okay? Yeah. All right. So Kirsten's fine. And this happens, doesn't it? So one of the things obviously is a lack of sleep. This is what can cause these issues. Sometimes we need to think about whether we've eaten enough, drunk enough as well. Drinking water is really, really important. If your blood pressure tends to be a little bit low again, you can feel dizzy. So if at any point that happens, you just need to stop, rest, and then make sure you're okay, and then you can join in with us again. And I'm sure Kirsten will be able to in a minute as well. So she's just going to sit out for the moment. And if anyone else is feeling sick or you're feeling a little bit vulnerable, then just take time out. You have to listen to your body. That's the most important thing all the way through while we're doing this. Okay, so now bring your feet back into a hip distance apart position. Lift up nice and tall, work the shoulders down. We're going to pull up through the arches of the feet. Take a nice big deep breath for me. Inhale. And then as you exhale, feel the rib cage come in, and then lift up through the feet, lift up through the pelvic floor, and just bring your chin in and thinking about putting your tongue on the roof of your mouth. We're now going to start to move the feet. So we're going to just move the feet, and then you're going to not worry about the arch of the foot now and just rock from one foot to the other, just working through the feet. And then what I want you to do as you're rocking through the feet, we're going to start to peel one foot directly off the floor. So lift up from the back of the pelvic floor and into your belly. So you're feeling that core control. And I want you to think about how much you're lifting up through that pelvic floor. It doesn't have to be a real strong lift, just a gentle lift up through the pelvic floor, just enough to feel your belly coming in. And you might want to put your hands underneath your bump and just hold them there and just feel your abdomen coming in at the same time. So now we're going to peel the right foot off the floor and hold and balance, lift up through the pelvic floor and just take your foot off the floor and just do some little circles with your ankle. This is really important to help promote circulation through our extremities. So you have up to 50% more blood flowing around your body. And take your foot behind and just take it behind. So it's important that the extremities are kept moving, because often they can get really stiff, and that's why we often have issues in our extremities. So it's important to keep them moving all the time. Now hold your leg back behind you, and if we can have a side view on this, please. You just need to make sure that you're really drawing up through your core as your leg goes back behind. You don't have to take it off the floor, you can if you want to, but what's really important is that you don't lean into one side as you do that. So just drop the pelvis forward, make sure the pelvis is nice and level, put one hand underneath your bum and take the other hand up. Bring your chin in, lengthening through the back of the neck, and then lift up through from the back of the pelvic floor and into your belly. Squeeze into your buttocks, work the shoulders down, and lift up through and hollow and breathe. So inhale, exhale, and lift in through your center, lifting up through. Bring that apple under your chin, or that egg in the spoon, bringing your chin back, and do that for me one more time. Inhale and exhale. And what's really important is that you're connecting to your core as you do this. So you're lifting up from the back of the pelvic floor and into your belly, because what we don't want is the back to overarch. So if you have a side view on that again, I'm really arching my back here, so you've got to lift your belly in and make sure that your belly is drawn in. So let's change legs. So we're going to work through the feet, peel the left foot off the floor and just rotate your ankle around, and you can probably feel now why you need to move that foot. Yes, so it's really important to keep it moving. And then take it back behind you, squeeze into your left buttock, lift up through the pelvic floor and into your belly, and take the opposite hand up. Bring an apple under your chin, or bring that chin in. Place your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Breathe for me again, in through the nose. And you have to close the mouth. That tongue's up there, so out through the nose. And then just lift in through your center. That's good. Okay, and then we're going to change again. So peel the right foot off the floor, lift that right foot off the floor, rotate the ankle around again. And then we're going to go into that balance position again, but this time we'll go into the balance, extend the arm up, work the shoulders down, bring that chin in, but this time we're going to then put the right foot down onto the floor. Now, just a note as we do this, so you guys might want to come forward a little bit so you're more onto your mats. And as we do this, you are following me, so we can just relax the hands down now, guys, and actually put the hands on the hips. You are following me from behind. So when I put my right hand up, you can put your right hand up. Yep. So you're literally following us in the mirror. So you're not mirroring us in terms of feet. When I put my right foot forward or my right foot back, you're putting your right foot forward or back. So you're doing exactly the same thing, just if you were wondering how you're following us now. So now what we're going to do is lift up and lower through the back foot. Now, as we do this, I want you to check your foot positioning. Now, if you have got a mirror, brilliant. If you haven't, it's quite a good idea to get your phone. You could put your phone, or you could put your computer, and you can actually have a picture of you, like have it on photo, so you can see whether your body is in exactly the same position as ours is right now. So what tends to happen, and I'm going to do it for you now, is that heel tends to rock in. Yep. So we want to turn the heel out and keep the feet nicely in line so that heel doesn't turn in. And then what we're going to do is hold the position, squeeze the right buttock, lift in through our center, and then bring the arms up. Now you should have released that calf muscle, and if that heel keeps trying to wander in, I just want you to try and take it out for me. Now that's going to throw your balance. Can you do that for me, Fiona? Just turn your heel out a bit. Yeah. Do you feel yourself feeling a bit wobbly? Yeah. So if that makes you feel wobbly, what do? You connect to your core. So draw up through the core of the feet. Take a breath. Inhale, exhale, lift up through the core of the feet, lift up from the back of the pelvis and into the front, draw in through your belly, work the shoulders down. Now take another breath for me. Inhale, exhale. You're going to take your right hand back behind you and look behind you as you do this. Work the shoulders down as well. And then inhale, bring it back. And then exhale, take the other hand back behind you. And then inhale, bring it back. And then exhale, take the right hand back behind. And then inhale, bring it back. So we're inhaling, and then as you exhale, you draw up through your core muscles and take the hand back behind you. And then release. And then we're going to change feet. So we're going to peel this left foot off the floor again, rotate your ankle around, release the tension as much as you can. That's it. And then take the leg back behind, and we should have a side view on this so you can see our positioning. And yeah, you might want to bring your foot slightly further forward. That's it. And again, if you're getting that heel rotating in, what that's going to do is it's going to create tightness in muscles around the pelvis, muscles that rotate the hip. So it's all connected, and it's also what can cause a lot of tightness in the calf muscles. I don't know if either of you can feel that tightness in your calves. Yeah, so this is why we're doing this. We're trying to release the calf muscles. It's an area of tension in the body, and that tightness is often exacerbated through tightness through the pelvis. So if we focus on aligning ourselves into the right position, everything's going to help to release, and it just means our bodies will function that much more effectively if we do all these things. Okay, so now hold the heel down, squeeze your buttock on the back leg, lift up through the pelvic floor, work the shoulders down, take the hands up, and we'll do it to the other side. So take a breath in, exhale, slide the arm back, look back behind you, and then inhale, bring it back, and then exhale and slide the other arm back behind you, and then inhale, bring it back, and then exhale and slide the arm back behind you, and then inhale, bring it back, and then we'll rest it there. Well done. Okay, what we're going to do now is a couple of stretches. I'm going to ask the girls to go to the back of the room because they can hold onto the bar. So you can find anywhere in your room that you're in. You might want to hold onto the back of a sofa, just rest on a table, anything you like. And then we're just going to hold onto the bar, and we're going to do a stretch. So you're going to see me from the back here, which is probably quite good. So I'm crossing my right leg over, and then I'm just going to drop my weight back behind me with the knee out to the side. Now you'll probably feel quite a lot of tightness. So that tightness we were talking about when you were doing that rocking action, it's the tightness in here. So when you're taking your leg back behind you, if your heel was turning in, you're now trying to stretch that area out. So Phoebe, because we could see your foot was turning in, I suspect that Phoebe's quite tight. She's doing this. Yeah, okay. Jana, how do you feel? Feel okay? Yeah, okay. Kirsten's come back. Are you all right, Kirsten? Yeah. You sure you're okay? Yeah? Oh, she didn't want to miss out, she just said. Okay, we'll just take it easy, yeah? Okay, so and then if you change legs and take the other leg out to the side. Now when you're doing this, take your knee out to the side and stick your bottom out behind you. So if you can see my back position there, I'm not allowing my bottom to tuck underneath. And that's really important, because if you extend your bottom back behind you, you're going to get a better stretch into your hips. You also want your knee out to the side. And the other thing to make note of is that you want your foot on your thigh, not your ankle. So move your foot out, because that enables you to move into the hip joint. Otherwise you just kind of flex the ankle joint, which you don't want. You want to move the hip joint out. So put your foot on your thigh and push that knee out to the side and stick your bottom out. It's good. Did we change legs? Can't remember. We did. Okay. Done both legs at home, make sure you have. So now this is an important stretch to do, and now we're going to do a quad stretch. So now we're going to just take a hold of one foot. Now this is important. Take a hold of your foot carefully and bring your knees together, and then engage your core. So engage the core of your supporting foot, so lift up through the core of your foot, and then lift up from the back of the pelvic floor into your belly, and then press your kneecap down towards the floor. And by doing that, you get this lovely extension through your pelvis here. And by engaging your core muscles, it stops you from working into the back here, which we don't want to happen. But also, as you're pushing your kneecap down, you should feel this lovely opening coming into the front of your pelvis. And that's really important, because we want to create length here in the front of the pelvis. And these muscles, again, another stress muscle, like the calf muscles, they get really tight. So it's an important area to stretch out. So if you want to turn around, guys, and change and do the other leg. So I will encourage you to do these stretches all the time, anytime, anywhere. Do these stretches, particularly the calf, which we've already done, the front of the thigh, the hip flexors, which we're doing now, and then the hip rotators, which we did just with this stretch here. And the sort of things you can just kind of stop and do at any point in the day. You know, you could be in the kitchen and you can just hold onto the sink and do it. You could be in your office, you can just hold onto the desk and do it. You could be anywhere you like, do some stretches and lengthen out these parts of the body. So as we're doing this, let's just recap. You lift up from the back of the pelvic floor into your belly, you push your kneecap down and away as you draw in through your core. And you're trying to push your pelvis slightly forward, but just make sure you're using your core as you do that. And if you connect to your breath as well, then you'll relax into it a bit more. So take a breath in. Exhale, lift up from the back of the pelvic floor into your belly, push your kneecap down, relax as you breathe out. Okay, and then release. So we've done a few stretches. Now we're going to start to work into the body a little bit more. We're going to use these bands that we've got in the class now. So guys, carefully pick your bands up. And if you, obviously don't worry if you haven't got one of these, just use a towel, anything between your arms. And I call this move the tightrope walk. So you're going to put one foot in front of the other. Now, if that makes you wobble so much that it's too difficult, just take your foot slightly forward and not directly in front of the other one. But we're going with the right leg forward, left leg behind. I'm just going to come a little bit further forward on the mat, so you hopefully can see me a little bit more. And then in that position, we've got to engage the core. You can probably feel you're wobbling all over the place a little bit. Yep. So you engage the core. So first thing you do actually is to squeeze the buttock on the back leg. So if you've got your right leg forward, you're going to squeeze your left buttock. Now lift up from the back of the pelvic floor and into your belly, and you should already start to feel a bit more stable. Now we're going to challenge the upper body, and I want you to create a little bit of tension, but positive tension in your upper body. So we're going to just pull just gently on the band, but not really pull it, just a little, just so that the band is taut. So you do the same with your towel, or if you've got a band at home, just pull it so that it's taut, so there's a little bit of tension. In actual fact, that's going to help you with your core control, because it's what's called closing the kinetic chain, and it actually enables you to work the whole of the body better. And it's why we prefer using bands than using free weights and things like that, because it just helps you with your core connection. So take a nice big deep breath for me. Inhale, exhale, relax. Pull up through the arches of the feet, pull up through the back of the pelvic floor into the belly, and pull your belly in and bring your arms up. We're just going to go to shoulder height on the first one. Take another breath in, exhale, and draw down. Now your focus should be on trying to stay upright. Inhale, exhale, bring the arms up, but also trying to engage your core so that your back doesn't move as you lift the arms up. Let's see if we can go a little bit higher. Everybody okay? Yeah? You don't have to. You can just try it. And then inhale, and then exhale, and bring the arms back down. Now you can go to shoulder height. Inhale, exhale, bring the arms up, or you can go all the way up, or you can even go back behind your head. That's optional. If you want to try it, you can. And then inhale, exhale, and then bring the arms back. Now keep squeezing your buttock on your left leg and keep lifting through your pelvic floor. One more time. Inhale, exhale, lift the arms up. Just go to where you want to go. You can go all the way back behind your head if you want to. And then inhale, exhale, bring the arms down. Okay, and then shake your legs out. Yeah. So what I'm gonna ask the girls to do it on the other side, and I'm gonna watch their back positionings as they do this. So I want you to do this again at home. So, I've got the wrong leg forward. So it should now be left leg in front, right leg behind. So you're squeezing your right buttock. Remember, if you really can't stay upright, just take the foot slightly to one side. Take a breath, inhale, exhale. Squeeze your right buttock this time. Lift up through your pelvic floor and lift the arms up to the height you want to go to. You can go right back behind the head if you want to. And then inhale, exhale, and then lower the arms down. Okay, now you keep doing that. I'm going to watch everybody as they're doing this. So we're making sure that we're squeezing the buttocks, and I'm just watching that the backs aren't arching as the arms go up. Okay, so if you want to, you can take your hands up higher. Kirsten, how are you doing? You all right? Yeah? Okay, and then again, breathe, and then see if you can go a little bit further, but lift your belly in, lift your belly in, lift your belly in, lift your belly in as you take it back. And then inhale, exhale, and bring it back down. Perfect. Okay, so that's a really good core exercise. Just relax and just shake your legs out. Okay, so what we're going to do is continue the theme of using bands to control the kinetic chain. Now, if you don't have a band, as I said, don't worry about it. You can do all this without. I'm going to get the girls to turn to the back. We're going to have a side view so you can see us. And we're going to take a hold of our bands. Now, we've got two different resistance of bands here. And we're just going to hold on to them. Now, at home, if you have got some bands, you can attach them around a door handle. Just make sure it's safe, anywhere where you can attach them. But if you haven't got bands, as I say, you're just going to do this action without. So what we're going to do is go into a lunge position. Now, when we're lunging, you're going to take one leg back behind us, go into a lunge position, so we're on the ball of the back leg, and we're going to lift up really tall and squeeze into the buttocks. Now we're just literally using the band at the moment, just put it into the right hand, and we're just using it as a way to give us actually a little bit more core control. But because we've just got it in our right hand, there's a feeling of pull on the right side of the body. I don't know if you can feel that. So you've got to kind of pull yourself back to the left a little bit to stay nice and square to the front. And I'm doing that on purpose because I want you to consciously think about keeping your body straight and pulling your left side back a little bit. Now, in a lunge position, we've got to make sure we drop vertically down and straight back up again. So we're not pushing forwards or backwards, we're dropping vertically down. So come up really tall to begin with and squeeze into your right buttock. And then all you're going to do is with the weight into the heel of your left foot and into the ball of the right foot, you lower down and then lift back up. And just keep the arms straight for the moment, and then again lower down and then lift back up. Now keep that going, guys, and I'm going to ask Fee, I'm going to ask you to go slightly wider. That's it. Okay. And that looks perfect. Now what I want you all to do is really focus on your back positioning and your head positioning and your chin positioning. So we can come back to the front camera. So I'm going to just do this sideways so you can see me here. So in your position, you need to make sure that your back stays nice and vertical as you lower and lift. Now I'm going to ask the girls to just stop when they feel they've had enough. So they're going to carry on, but they're going to stop when they've had enough and just go to the bar and do some stretches. So you can do the same thing. Just stop when you feel you've done enough. So you're making sure you're up nice and tall and then lower down and lift back up. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, of course, that's fine. And then go for 2 more, lower down. And then lift back up. 2 more if you want to. You can stop beforehand if you want to. That's it. And then lift back up. Well done. You okay? Yeah, so we're going to change legs. So onto the other leg. So left leg back behind. Come up nice and tall. Squeeze into your buttocks. Work the shoulder blades back and down. Find your center. And then make sure everything's up nice and tall. And then lower down. And then lift back up and squeeze into the buttocks. So engage your core at the top and then lower down and lift. So let's go back on the side view again. And what we're looking for is to make sure that everything stays nice and vertical. So that vertical drop, squeezing the buttocks at the top, and just remind yourself of your pelvic floor at the top as well. So come up nice and tall to the top, lift up through the pelvic floor and into your belly, and then lower back down again. That's it. And then lift back up and then lower down. And then lift back up, and then lower back down. Okay, so I'm going to ask the girls to carry on for another 4. If we can have a front view again now. But they can stop at any point, and you can stop at any point as well. So Kirsten's having a break again now. So you've got to listen to yourself. So you stop whenever you want to. Make sure you're drinking lots of water. Make sure you're feeling fine. And if you're not, you stop. And if necessarily, you come back to this session another time. You don't have to do it now. It's really important that you feel good. And just for a little, yeah, you can stop now, guys. So if we go over and do some stretches now. So we're going to go back to our stretches. So never sacrifice sleep for exercise. So if you're feeling really tired and it's like, do I go out for that walk? Do I do my exercise session? Or actually I feel really tired and I think I need to sleep, you sleep. Yeah? So that's really important that you do try and catch up with your sleep whenever you can. A little bit difficult when you've got toddlers already, as I know these girls have got. But whenever you can, try to catch up on your sleep. You deserve that sleep and you need that sleep. You need that sleep to be able to obviously exercise as well. Okay, so do a stretch on the other leg. Now you choose a stretch that you feel you really need, where you feel tightness. So you might feel that your quads are really tight, or you might feel that you want to do this hip stretch right now. It's another way to slow yourself down as well if you're feeling like you've worked quite hard. Because what you should have felt as you were doing those lunges is your heart rate go up. I don't know if you felt that at all, girls. Yeah? Okay, so your heart rate starts to go up. And as we develop these classes, we will start to get a lot more of that kind of movement in, and the heart rate will go up. Now, we know that we need to have the heart rate going up in order to do cardio types of exercise. We know that heart and lung cardio exercise is really important as well for you during pregnancy. There's so much research correlating cardiovascular exercise to benefits for you and for your baby. So we need to do all of that as well. What we're going to do now is just grab one of your bands and we're going to turn around. And in fact, I'm going to do this, taking the band off of here. And then you're just going to hold your bands on there. So we're going to turn around. So if you face the front now. So guys, what I want you to do, if you've got a band, you're going to just take a hold of it and put it underneath your right arm. What I'm doing here is I'm just putting it around my back to show you that if you haven't got anywhere to attach a band, or you can do it like this, just by putting it back behind your back. So we're now going to do lunges in this position here. So the girls have got the bands behind them. If you step forwards a little bit because you want to feel tension in your bands, so come onto your mats, take your left leg forward and your right leg back behind you, so you're into your lunge position, and go up nice and tall again. Because one of the issues that we often face is we never quite fully extend. That's why we get really tight here, and our glutes get lazy, our buttocks get lazy. So if you come right up nice and tall and really squeeze into your buttocks, you're onto the ball of your right foot, and then you're going to lower down and then lift back up. And I'm pushing the arm forward this time. So you're pushing forwards with the arm and then lifting back up. And we're doing that, this rowing, this kind of running action, I should say, with the arms as we do this. And the reason I want you to do that is that this is very functional. This is a movement pattern, a walking pattern that you will do every day. So we need to think about how the rest of our body works as we do this action. Now, let's have a little rest. Are you two okay? Yeah, just checking. Right, heart rate's going up. Okay, let's slow it down just a bit. So let's come up really tall, squeeze, breathe, and then lower down. Exhale, and then lift back up. Inhale, and then exhale. Can we manage 2 more? Yes? You can stop now if you want to. 2 more if you can. And then 1 more. And then release. So just shake the legs up, and then we'll do it on the other side. So let's have a side view, particularly as we do this other side, because what we've got to check for as we're doing this is that we're not pushing the body forwards. So come up nice and tall for me, work the shoulders down. Remember that egg in the spoon, bring the chin back, squeeze the buttock on the back leg, and then we're just going to push this arm out forwards. The other arm's going to come back, but what we don't want is to lean forward with the body. So the back stays up nice and tall, and then inhale, come back up, and then exhale. Lower down. Now come up fully, extend, squeeze into your buttocks, lift your pelvic floor, and then lower back down again. And then lift back up, and then lower back down again. Keep your shoulders down, apple under your chin, lift back up, and then lower back down. You can slow it down if you need to. You don't have to go at the pace we're going at. Make sure you're bringing your shoulder blades down. And I'm going to just check on the girls, make sure they're bringing their body weight nicely vertically down to the floor. Remember the core of your feet. So you pull up through the core of the front foot and you push through the front heel, squeeze up into the glutes to come back up. Let's go for 2 more. Perfect. Lift back up, and 1 more. And you're there. Well done. Perfect. Okay, so we need lots of leg strength. And the reason we need this leg strength is because giving birth is very physical. And if you have the leg strength to be able to stay moving, and if that's what you want to do, then you want to have that leg strength. I'm not saying that is what you want to do during birth. You might want to lie down, you might want to be on your knees, but the point of this is it's giving you choices. And by working in this way and building our strength, it's going to help you not just through your pregnancy and through birth, but also through the rest of your postnatal time, but also for the rest of your life, because we're building strong bones and we're building strong muscles, which is really, really important. So what we're going to do now is take that lunging action into a practical sense now. So the other reason we want strong legs is because we don't want to hurt the back. And often what we do when we go down to the floor, particularly when we're picking up toys from the floor or trying to tidy up the living room, we'll go and pick something up and we'll bend the back over like that and we'll use the back to lift. But we shouldn't be doing that. We should be using our legs. So we're just going to do some random squats now, wherever we like, random lunges, sorry. And we're going to just literally pick a place to go to. So we're going to imagine there's a toy over in front of us then. We've got to step down to get to it. So we can step forward, but we're going to lunge and drop down. Pick something up from the floor, but keeping the back up nice and tall, and then lift back up. Okay, so that's more of a practical lunge. Something's just out to the left side here, so we're going to take it to the side. So we're going to lunge down, and it doesn't matter if your lunge is slightly a squat lunge, that's absolutely fine, and then you can lift it back up again. So let's try that to the other side. Try that kind of squat lunge. So you're going to drop down, Okay, your knees are going to go wide and then come down. So the important thing is your knees don't feel they're taking any stress, and you use the big leg muscles to lift up. You can also step back with it as well. So you can step back into a lunge and then lower down, pick something up. It might be a child. And then change. Should we try that on the other side? So do you see how we're just trying to build strength? And these lunges that we're doing at the moment are just one movement, but by doing the multiple lunges, you're going to get your legs really nice and strong. We're going to go down to the floor now, Kirsten. I don't know if you want to join us on the floor. Do you want to try that? Okay, so what I'm going to get you guys to do is to get one of your blocks, put them underneath your knee as you come down. I'm going to borrow one of your blocks, actually, Jenna. And so if you put it underneath your right knee, okay, and then take the left leg forward. So we're just going to go into a hip opening position. We've talked about this psoas muscle that comes over the hips here that gets really, really tight, and how important it is to lengthen it. We've already started lengthening it by doing some of the quad stretches, and a lot of the positionings I'm putting you into are to help open through the front of the pelvis. But this is a lovely stretch again to do throughout your pregnancy. However, it is one that isn't right for everybody. So when you're doing it, if you feel any pain or discomfort, you must let me know. Well, you guys can let me know in the studio, but you can let me know through our chats, through communicating with us, because there are alternatives you can do as well. So we'll start with a very easy version, and then we'll build it up. So place your hands underneath your bump, and just by going into this position here, if you feel any discomfort, just put your knee down, and I'll show you an alternative afterwards. But if you're fine in this position, just start by engaging your core. So lift up from your pelvic floor and into your belly, and just squeeze your right buttock behind you a little bit. And do you feel that little bit of extension just by doing that? Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to work further forward. Okay, now this is the point where some people do not like this position. So if you don't like it, come back. Everybody okay so far? Yeah? So just lift up. If you notice anything else that is challenged as you come forward, you feel that length? Yeah? Sometimes your balance is challenged a little bit. So if you've got a sofa or something by you, or a chair, you could actually put your hand on something. Kirsten, are you okay? Do you want me to grab the chair? You right? Sure? Okay. So you can just hold on to something. You know, you could do this by the side of your sofa and just hold on it onto it if you need to. But try to lift up your hands over this front part of your pelvis and squeeze your buttocks as you do that, just to feel that stretch. It's almost like you're pulling the skin up over your hip, just to feel that stretch at the front of your thigh, and that's really important. Now take another breath for me. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Lift up through the back of the pelvic floor into your belly, and just feel that opening in the front of your pelvis. Again, if it doesn't feel right, just come back and do it in a milder version without going so far forward, but still push your hip forward, squeezing your buttocks so you get a feeling of length. Let's change legs to the other side now. So take the right leg forward. And again, you're going to open out through the front of the pelvis, lift the skin up over the pelvis, squeeze your left buttock this time. This is all you may do. You just hold this position, so you breathe and just lift up through. And then if you feel fine, you can come further forward. But obviously if that doesn't feel right for you, if you feel any discomfort here in the pubis symphysis area or in the sacrum area, just pull back. And then just lift that skin up over your hip joint. Work the shoulders down. Just think about your posture. Even think about your head positioning. All of that helps the stretch, gives you a better stretch if you're thinking about your posture all the way through. That's it. And then release. So what we're going to do now, I love this move. So this is called a puppy dog. So when you are in a seated position, you tend to get a lot of tension. I don't know, if you put your hands into here, you can feel that the tendons here are tense. So all the while we're sitting at desks, we're sitting in sofas, on chairs, this muscle is under tension. This is the muscle we've been trying to open and stretch out. So it kind of doesn't make sense to hold positions too much where this goes into tension. So try not to sit down for too much. We will, as we go through the classes, look at different ways you can hold yourself, but if you can, avoid sitting for too long a prolonged length of times. So start to kind of think about how you can break your day up. So if you do have to sit down at a desk, get up, move around. Another really good thing to do is to use a big ball, which we'll come to in another class a little bit later, but you can sit on a ball, which keeps you moving rather than sitting on on a chair. So what we're going to do now though is change our body position, and this is the magic bit. So bring your hands forward. If we can have a side view on this, please. And then extend the arms. You're going to stick your bottom up in the air. And this is called a puppy dog. So you might be familiar with a down dog in yoga. And this is a puppy dog position. And what it does is it gives you a lovely extension through your spine. You take your tailbone up. It opens your pelvic floor. So you're resting and relaxing your pelvic floor. But if you now just take a hand and put it in over that hip joint, you'll feel that those tendons are no longer tense. So they're soft. So that's why being in this position is a really nice position for the body to be in. So basically you're giving your body a rest, which is just as important as building your strength. So you want to rest it. Now breathe. And relax. Okay, the girls are going to stay there for another breath or two. What I'd like you to do is you can come up into the kneeling position I'm in, but I just want to explain to you what you can do if you find this uncomfortable. If you don't like being on your knees, you can grab a pile of books. Now, obviously, we've got blocks here, and I'm just going to pinch Jana's for the moment. And grab a pile of books, and then put them between your legs, and you can sit on them, and it's just a lot more comfortable for your knees. It's also a great way to feel your pelvic floor as well. So I'm going to ask the girls to come up slowly now, and you can use the blocks if you want to. So if you just put the blocks, literally straddle the blocks between your legs, and it just takes the pressure off your knees. So you're basically up here as opposed to down here. So it should feel a little bit more comfortable. So that's it. You got it? Okay. And so you can do that at home as well. And we're going to finish off now just focusing on the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor is just the most important muscle because it connects you to the rest of your core. It keeps the whole of your core strong. But it's also the muscle that's going to take a bit of a whack when it comes to just the pregnancy itself, but also whether you have a vaginal birth or a C-section, the integrity of your core muscles will be affected. So the pelvic floor doesn't function so well. So however you give birth, it's really important to give some attention to the pelvic floor. So the more aware we are of it now, then the more we are going to be throughout birth and beyond as well. So again, really important. So we talked about right at the beginning of the class how the pelvic floor is like this diamond shape underneath you. It's a series of muscles. There's a big muscle at the back, which is that lift up from the back of the pelvic floor into the front that we talked about. This muscle is called the levator, and it's a big kind of scooping feeling in your pelvic floor. And we're just going to focus on that now. Now, if you're sat on blocks or on books, if you just pull your butt cheeks out from underneath you and sit on those, you should be able to feel those sit bones. Now, the pelvic floor, the sides of the diamond are attached to those sit bones. So think of that shape and imagine you can pull the four corners of that diamond up. So we're going to start with that scoop up from the back, but then what I want you to do is imagine being able to pull the sides of your pelvic floor up, because when you do that, it gives you a much stronger feeling in your pelvic floor. So take a big breath for me, inhale, exhale, relax. And then pull up from the back of the pelvic floor. Do that scoop up from the back, draw in from the front. So you're stopping a fart from the back, basically. Stop away from the front. But now gather up the sides of the pelvic floor as well and lift up and up and up and up and up. And then let it come back down. So now I'm trying to get you to think of your pelvic floor as having layers that you can lift up through. It's often called the 5 lift. So if you imagine the pelvic floor like a lift going up through 5 floors. So we'll do that again. Take a breath, inhale, exhale, relax. And then pull up from the back of the pelvic floor. So scoop up, stop a fart from the back, draw in from the front, but now pull those sit bones in as well and come up and up and up. And if you can, up and all the way to the top. And then let it drop back down. So I'll count it through this time. I'm going to ask the girls how many floors they can come up to. So everyone here has had a baby before, yeah? Yeah, so we've all got toddlers at home. So once the pelvic floor has already had that bit of stress from having had a baby, it's harder to go up through those 5 floors. And this is your first time, then you may find it quite easy to get to that 5th floor. So let's just see how far we can get. So let's take a breath, inhale, exhale, relax, and then pull up from the back, scoop up from the back, draw in from the front and pull up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is all the way to the top, and then let it come back down. 4. So Fiona can get to 4. Jonna, 3-ish. 4 for Kirsten. So that's pretty good going, yeah? And if you can't, you can only get to 1. Don't worry, that's why you're here. That's why you're doing this. Because it means you need to practice, yeah? So we could all do with a bit of practice, because we all need to be able to get up to 5 and also be able to sustain 5. And now's the time to do it. Now, before the baby gets too big and you get that pressure pushing down even more, now's the time to really work on that pelvic floor strength. So I want everybody to do these every day, do some pelvic floor lifts. So we'll do it one more time so we know what we're doing. Inhale, exhale, relax, and then lift up from the back to the front, pull those sides in and go up and up and up if you can and up if you can. And you may just be thinking about it rather than doing it, but there's that 5th floor that you are going to get to at some point or other, and then let it come back down. So we're going to now finish off back in that puppy dog position to stretch the pelvic floor and relax and release and breathe. So I hope you've enjoyed this first class. And you remember you can do it again. You don't have to just do it this once. You can come back to it 2 or 3 times. And if, like Kirsten, you didn't manage to get to do the whole thing today, hey, do you know that's life? It doesn't matter. But you can come back and do this anytime you like. If you can do it 3 times a week, that would be fantastic. 4 is fine as well. Just revisit whenever you can, but remember your rest, remember your sleep as well, and remember to eat well as well. We'll be putting out lots of information on nutrition for you as well. Bye, see you later. You can wave if you like. So we'll go into our puppy dog and just relax and pull back.